They don't want to take that risk and learn actually breaking. They enjoy seeing people spinning on their heads and high flying
and stuff.
You know, we used to actually link up for some time and we used to train on the ground.
Yeah.
So he used to also be like, no, you guys need to pull up at the bat center, this and that and that and that. So he was also giving us a more explosive of what b-boying is, because at that time, I mean, if he could do one air flare, that was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Phoenix. That's where I would start.
Yeah.
It was amazing for Phoenix as a whole, because when I don't just represent Durban as a whole, I also represent the area I'm from, which is Phoenix, you know.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of our podcast, 9 to 5, 365. All right. And today we're in the 46-day Dance Studio. That's the venue that we're using to shoot the podcast today. Myself, I go by the name of Dwiji. And I got my host,
Moos. You know how I always do the most.
Right. So today we're just going to be talking about a lot about our guest today, which is actually Moos. He's going to be the first person that we talk about in terms of creative business that has been running for the past few years.
Yeah.
His background and a little bit more about him and what he does every day and where his photography business came from and where it is today. So yeah, Moos, let's get into it, man.
Sure.
Tell me, I've known you for some time now.
Over like what, 3 years, 4 years?
Nah. So I've known you for some time, and it's probably been about,
I can say it's
close to 10 years actually that I've known
yeah,
Moos. And you're coming back a long way from dancing and...
we actually started off as rivals.
It started off as rivals. He was with the Versatile dance crew, and I was with the Ethics at that time.
And now look at us today.
And then we eventually became part of the same crew, man. But yeah, man, talk to me a little bit about before I met you, your background, coming up, growing up in... I think an important part of it is people need to know like where you grew up and, you know, the community and then dancing and how you actually, discovered it at first. So the background, yeah.
All right, so I basically grew up in Phoenix all of my life. So I was into everything, you know. I liked excitement. Dancing, I don't even know what was dancing, you know. I just like dancing. You watch your movies, you go outside, you try it, you know. Your skating, your drawings, and all of that. So growing up, I grew up into more of that. I had my cousins and all of that also came through and helped me with that also. Then I went to high school. I feel high school for me actually was where I saw what is dance, the difference between b-boying, crumping, popping, locking, and all of that. Because then that's when I joined my crew. You know, what were we, like Versatile crew. You know, that's what me, Fahim.
Yeah, I remember Dylan was part of it.
Bruh, Kyle. Bro, there was a lot of us. It wasn't
quite a few guys I remember.
Yassi was even part of it. It wasn't even a crew, it was a movement, because we had because it was more in school, we had from grade 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you had more like an entourage. So then that's how I actually became a dancer. Every day after school, linking up, Tommy coming through, you know. And that's how I got into dancing. Tommy actually showed me a lot also when it came to b-boying, breaking, fundamentals, powers, and all of that. So that's just a touch of an iceberg of my background. So yeah.
It's interesting to note because a lot of us actually, considering our age now, and we've been in the dance scene for a long time, a lot of us actually started in school. With me, before I met you, it's the same thing. Learning in school, then I met people, and this is before I even came to Durban at that time. So, what obviously inspired the aspect, because with the thing is like doing dancing in school, a lot of people stop it after school. They don't see like a way to take it any further. They don't see what it can actually do for you. So talk about how you differentiated or you actually saw it, especially being in Durban, knowing that there wasn't those opportunities of dance that I would see in Johannesburg that people had after school. There was opportunities. So specifically in Durban itself and in Phoenix, where you know the culture of dance is not big. If you're not doing Bollywood, it's over kind of thing.
No, you're right.
So talk to me about that transition from there into like obviously the working life, dancing, and then obviously you came about meeting me. So talk about that transition and then the transition to actually starting preparations for BC1 and what we had there.
So the answer is in what they say. Something's in the pudding.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. It's what you just said. Yeah. It's not here. So if something is not here, the only way it can be here is if you bring it here. So with me and the people that I used to dance with, I think, I won't say here in Durban because there are B-boys, but we don't know them. You know, there were B-boys at that time. Now I know them, but at that time we didn't know them. Because we also have just down the road, there was your Terrence, and all of them. Those guys were also B-boys. You know what I'm trying to say? So what happened was I decided to like enjoy it. I'm not doing it because it's something that I saw, but it's something that I actually enjoy doing it because I enjoy standing out. I like to do something that will stand out, you know? And being who I am, I always challenge myself. So when it came to b-boying, how I actually transitioned everything, obviously in school, it's exciting. After school, we're doing that there. I didn't realize that the people started hiring me. I started getting gigs. When I started getting gigs, we started entering also competitions like your Phoenix Got Talent.
The Phoenix Got Talent.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Big thing back in the day.
Big thing back in the day. Very big. And at that point, mind you, I'm what, grade 9, grade 10?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? There's me who's in grade 9 or grade 10, and my other two fellows, that's Fahib and Yasin, that's what, 2 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm now maybe going with the guys that are in grade 11. You know what I'm trying to say? So now with me, I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's dance. So I started winning competitions. We started going for like your crew battles, you know, at the bat centers, meeting up with people.
One of the biggest things contributors to dancing in Durban was the Bat Center days.
Bat Center, bro. You know, and if you haven't been to Bats, if you don't know Bat Center, the underground terminals, you know, if you don't know that, then you don't know dance, bro.
That is
you know, so all of that, they inspired me to now actually seeing that they, you know what, there's big opportunities to dance. And then that's how Red Bull came about. And for Red Bull, having it come down to Durban was an experience because that way I get to taste what it is and not be under pressure because it's still within my own city. So I feel at home. So that's basically how I transitioned from school and going into dance.
Yeah. It's also, as you said, Bat Center, for those that don't know much about the Durban scene, Bat Center was integral in a lot of the hip-hop events. And a lot of the Durban B-boys, I refer to the OGs, your Bizzo, Kzo, Farron, you know, they were big in Durban, but they were big in Cape Town and Joburg and stuff. So I guess with you also not being able to connect with them during the time.
During those times. Oh, at those times, we were not connecting with them, indeed, but we were connecting with them.
Okay.
Because they were more towards the suburb sides.
Yeah.
So in terms of communication, reaching out, meeting up, it was kind of difficult.
Yeah. And there was no Uber back then.
Yeah, you had to either take a taxi. You know? That's much harder. You know what I'm trying to say? But
no Uber.
But the person that I'd like to say shout out that actually also put me on was Buddha.
Yeah.
Because Buddha was Buddha actually was staying closer towards our side. You know what I'm trying to say? You're staying more towards like your Nanda sides and whatever the case. So we used to actually link up for some time and we used to train on the grounds.
Yeah.
So he used to also be like, no, you guys need to pull up at the Bat Center, this and that and that and that. So he was also giving us a more explosive of what b-boying is, because at that time, I mean, if he could do one air flare, that was mind-blowing. You know, that's like what, 2010 or even further back.
Even further back than that. Yeah.
One air flare, you're like, oh,
yeah,
so
that was a big thing. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's evolution. The breaking evolution come a long way. If you look at the level now and you look at the level back, like back in the early 2000s, the level is very different. So you're right in saying, like, you could do an air flare, you could do a flare, you could do some combo flare, air flare, windmill or something like that.
You were the
that
shit.
was big, yeah. You were the shit, actually. But then yeah, talking about Wooda and meeting with the guys and the Floor Assassins at that time, I also watched a lot of their videos as well, growing up, simply because me personally as a b-boy, I wasn't really into the power aspect. I was more into the dance aspect of it, meaning I focused a lot on rhythm, focused a lot on the musicality. I liked the style. So for me, that was one of the crews I looked up to in South Africa, like the Floor Assassins. But then talk about then, obviously transitioning. Once you transitioned and then you started tasting the Red Bull aspect, talk to me a little bit about that now, Red Bull coming in, because that was a time when we met and we started training in Phoenix. We had the school, we were using crystal points, we were training. But then obviously I came from Joburg, which is a different scene, into the Durban scene. And then talk to us about like the transition of training, because I even now know during that time you started moving into the photography based aspect. And obviously during that time, like we're talking, this is like 2016, 17, 18. There was a lot happening in the Durban scene.
It's not even 2015, 16, 17, because when all of that was actually happening, I was still in school. So we probably linked up or we met maybe because 2011, 2012, I thought it was amazing. Leave Durban, Phoenix, that's where I would start. Yeah. It was amazing for Phoenix as a whole, because when I don't just represent Durban as a whole, I also represent the area I'm from, which is Phoenix, and to have such competitions come here. And so I won't say to have to bring these competitions here. You were one of those people that hosted it. And if you...
district rivalry.
Exactly. Yeah. If you didn't host it, I wasn't going to dance. You know what I'm trying to say? People entered because they know there's going to be moves that's going to be breaking there. You know what I'm trying to say? People came to watch because they know, hey, you know what? Moose is going to be breaking there. Someone that you know is going to be there, someone's going to be breaking. So having to see this on TV, having other people only seeing this on TV, and then bringing it here, I'll start here in Phoenix, was actually
in the community.
It was taking it to the whole nother level, because not only did we see our own people break dance, but we also brought the community together. Yeah. Did you see how many youngsters came through that didn't know how to dance, but came through? Youngsters that we didn't know that can dance,
that were in the community, that entered competitions, And that's that was probably one of the, for me, that was one of the best times, because man, the district rivalry event,
that was dope.
You put money up for people, and like $1,000, $2,000 that we used to have
just to dance, bro.
To dance, people actually went all out for these events.
Just to dance, you'd be amazed.
The battles were insane. Yeah. The battles were insane.
You think that people can't dance outside? Put money on the line.
Put money on the line, and then you'll see how people are fighting for it. So, yeah, I also think that was like one of the best areas as well. But then, I also like. Let's talk about that transition now. You did photography. Let's go back a little bit more. You started in 2017. You bought the camera. You started. Yeah. I remember that. What was the reasoning behind going into the photography route? Because every b-boy, I feel like, also has like, there's a lot of creative aspects to what you want to do with your art form. Like with me now, I may not battle as much as I did back then, but I do teach. I still train. And I'm focused more on the judging aspect of the dance now. So talk to me about like what was your like transition? Why the reasoning behind actually getting into photography?
Whatever the case, performing with the crew, myself, Dylan, and Tommy, we always needed someone to record us. So whenever we asked someone to record us, I wasn't happy with the quality.
I know what you're saying. Also back then, we had no iPhones, bro. Back in the day, we record on Android phones.
And it's fine.
Which is fine. That was the quality back then.
At that time it was the shit. But at the same time, you can't be telling me you got bad quality and you don't even have me on frame.
Stability, stabilization and stuff.
So that was one of the reasons, And I have a very good friend. His name is Shakil. That guy there is an artist, basically. He does like drawings, photography. It's fucking amazing. Shout out to him, matter of fact. Dog, when I saw him doing photography, dog, that inspired me. That actually inspired me to do photography. And then I liked the idea. Once I saw it, it kept the same. What happened with photography? The same way photography captured me is the same way dance captured me.
Okay.
You see,
makes sense. Like that, capturing the essence of like what you were shooting, video-wise, and all of that.
So then, what happened there after that? There is that I also started going to like there's this thing called 468. I had this guy Msizi.
It was in Brookdale during that time.
I can see when that happened.
Yeah.
That they sold me. That literally sold me to be like,
I remember
you know
it was, I think Fabi was also part of that thing. The rapping and all of that. I remember. Definitely. Brookdale Courts.
Yes, that's exactly where it was. We held it down. So when I used to go there, I used to actually break. But then I used to get inspired with the photography. So there was a lot of aspects behind it. And then also they had this one thing called Tumblr. You remember Tumblr? Like
I remember where it's like your MySpace, very similar, where you post stuff,
So then that day was with the editings and all of that. Then I was like, you know what? I actually enjoy taking and editing pictures. Let me now take it up a notch. And
Alright. So this was around about like 2016
17-ish.
17-ish. There was still during the time where we just started introducing the PC ones and that.
Definitely.
So then let's talk now. Where do you think, because obviously you've been in the scene now for some time, and your thoughts on how did you balance like being a b-boy, the photographer, then starting the photography business, but then balancing it with work as well, because you all have to work and pay for bills and whatnot. So how did you find that challenging? Because I know everybody has. It's one of two things. It's either you make the time to do what you want to do and build your business, or like you don't. So how did you find the time between balancing it out between?
So as you said, work, photography, dance. Those three aspects as a whole. I have to make time for either one of them, right? So if I'm at work, I'm at work, but I would get time to dance. It's either I'll get time before work or I'll get time after work. Who knows? I might get time even during work.
During work too.
You know what I'm trying to say? Because I enjoy dancing.
Yeah.
So if I'm not dancing, and if I'm not going to work and dancing, I may be dancing and doing photography. That's how I was able to juggle it. For example, when I was at Bounce, I was able to work and I was able to dance.
At the same time. Because I remember Bounce, you worked for Bounce for quite some time as well.
3 years, bro.
And that was a big part of you, like with the dancing aspect. Because I remember we were ambassadors also for Bounce as well.
Shout out to Bounce.
So shout out to Bounce, and they're giving us the spot. But then so you had that time basically.
So I didn't have the time. I created the time. I feel it was also, not having much responsibilities, because I was still like, I won't say I was old.
22, 23.
I know what I say, I was young, but I was at the time whereby I'm able to, I have some free time. I have some free time to maybe focus on some sort of art or creative side of me. That's how I was also able to pick up photography.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that's like very important to note, because with anything that you try to do on the side, it's always trying to allocate the time to do it, allocating the time to do it. And I feel like a lot of the youngsters now, in this day and age, like obviously there's a new wave, they're prioritizing, generally what I see, they're prioritizing what they want to do over
what they need to do.
Which it's not necessarily bad, but it's a different shift in the mindset with the Gen Zs, and different to what we had to like go through and things like that. But then where do you think now, kind of, I'm going to talk more about the scene in Durban, because the scene has shifted. Breaking is not as big as what it was. So the scene has shifted more to the hip hop and the all styles and the crump, which crump was always integral parts of, there. But it's been shifted more to the Red Bull dance your styles, the Unity Battle Fest, which shout out for the platform that they give people. But the breaking side has been neglected, and I feel like we don't have BC1 anymore. I think as of after 2019, that was probably the last BC1 we had. Last BC1 we had. So where do you think maybe it went wrong? What do you think was the issues behind it going wrong?
I won't say.
What was the downfall of it?
I'll say what was the downfall. I won't say something went wrong, because till today there are still dancers, there are still b-boys that are here. They may not be out there and doing the most like how we expect b-boys to do, but there are still b-boys out there. I mean, like, I'm still here, Tommy's still here, you still here, Farron is still here. You know what I'm trying to say? There are still b-boys that are out here. With the dance events, breaking is hard, bro.
It is.
Like, all your dance styles are hard. I will not lie to you, bro. Don't get me wrong. Crump is hard with your jab, your stomps. It's not just about just going wild. People think crump is just going wild, but it's also about your
technique towards it.
There's a technique. You need to catch your jab, your stomps. You need to go with the music. Exactly. You know what I'm trying to say? With pop also, there's also the way you need to pop. There's a way you need to pop your chest. There's a way you need to, wave it out. There's a way you need to vibrate. You know what I'm trying to say? Breaking is the same.
It's the same.
But I just feel with breaking, you also use something that other dance styles use less, which is your physical strength.
Yeah, that's true. Because I remember recently I was at one of Verb's events, and then the crumper pulled out the headspin in the paddle, and I was like, yo, dude, what? And as a kid, I was like, why don't you learn breaking? And he's like, no, it's too hard. And I was
like... So that's the reason why breaking is not at where all the other dance styles are here in Durban compared to other cities, because people remember, number one, Durban is populated with not a piano but boom. You understand?
Benga.
Exactly. Breaking is more of a stiff vibe.
Yeah.
You need to be stiff. You need to be able to have control. People are very versatile. They're very flexible. They're very easy. So that's, I feel personally, one of the main limits as to why there's less breakers here. Maybe we did not influence them as much during the time, but at that time, who influenced us? No one in Durban influenced us. The same influence.
Look outside, we have to look outside.
I looked outside, bro. I looked at your Chris Brown and Storm. They are doing these things over here. And then I started
exploring it a little bit more.
Then I started exploring to realize that there's break dancing, and then I realized there's actually a platform called Red Bull BC1. You see, and then I saw the basic. Then I used to call myself a break dancer, not a b-boy.
Yeah.
All of that, they influenced me to become a dancer that I am today. So when I go on stage and I show what I've learned through my career, dancing and getting all that knowledge and whatever the case may be. It's not easy. You get hurt. There's a reason it's called break dancing, because you can break something down.
That was just a note for the term. We don't really call it break dancing. We're just referring to the term for everybody that knows. You're a b-boy at the end of the day. Break dancing was a term used in the 80s. But for those that don't know, we are referring to you being a b-boy on that aspect. But there was that. It is a very difficult dance style. It's not the easiest.
It's not as easy as. And I'm not throwing shade once again, because I know there's going to be other dancers watching other dance styles compared to what I do. But it's not as easy as learning a wave. Mind you, even learning a wave is not easy, because there's someone that might be stiff, but it's not as easy as learning a wave. So you need to be strong. You need you need to be able to do a push-up and stand on your hands. And if you fall, you must be able to control that and forget the pain. You wouldn't fall with a wave, bro.
Yeah, that's it. That's true.
So a lot of people are actually Maybe they don't want to take that risk and learn actually breaking. They enjoy seeing people spinning on their heads and high flying.
And stuff.
You know.
Yeah, back in the day, they would be like, "Yo, can you spin on your head? Do you spin on your head?
Do a
backflip or something." So we kind of identified like the BC1 area in Durban. I don't think it's lost. I think maybe at some point there will be.
Lost. It's not lost, dog. They need to have a need for them to come down. There needs to be a need for Red Bull BC to come down.
Because we don't have sufficient breakers now in Durban.
Exactly. There isn't a need for them to come down. Yeah, the last time I went to BC was the last time we went, whereby they took us from Durban. Imagine just to
they flew us up for the event,
just to say that you know what, we want another city also part of it. We don't want to leave the city.
And also then I remember there was a whole lot of new breakers that I didn't even like. Remember, I'm coming from the scene back in 2009, the Joburg scene. So I was always in touch, like going back and forth, 2015, 16. I remember still doing their BC ones and whatever. And then there was a whole lot of new dancers in 2021 that I saw just popped out of nowhere as well. So their scene was growing. That showed me that their scene was growing. But when you come here, we don't have
it's not as like how you sing out there.
There's no new faces. It's the same guys that you see over and over again.
All over again.
So we don't have the growth.
All I can say is that in Durban has top b-boys, dog.
Yeah.
Like the b-boys that are in Durban, the b-boys that were in Durban, and the b-boys that are still in Durban. There are b-boys that never made it to the scene, that were underground, that you'll see till today, and you're like, hey, if only this guy actually went to
went out, or
you know what I'm trying to say?
Or something,
or maybe they went out to that cypher and they was exposed to it, but maybe at that time it wasn't their time at that time. They need to maybe be exposed a bit more.
Yeah.
But Durban has people.
Yeah, it has some undercover guys, which they're there. And then after that, obviously the whole the breaking kind of dying down a little bit. I'll refer to it as dying down. During the 2020s era now, as we call it, you started focusing a lot more on other things. Things started getting serious with life and all of that. So talk about the transition on that, and then trying to focus on the photography and just how difficult it is. Because I feel we're in a space of social media being so big now than it was back then. It's easier for you to go viral now in this era than it was back then. But I also feel like to a point where maybe in this day and age, the authenticity of what you're doing is not there, because everybody's trying to be the same thing. Everybody's trying to be the influencer. Everybody's trying to be a set style of photographer or videographer. So I think it's always trying to show now what makes you different. And then I think talk about your business now, doing your 9 to 5 and then doing your 5 to 9 afterwards, which is your business on the weekends. Recently you just did a podcast, you started moving into that space, and then we started moving into the space. So talk about the transition now, 2019 to 2020, how you started seeing things, the shift in the world, the shift in social media, things like that. Yeah.
So with that, I was still working even though I was dancing. I never stopped, And then with my photography also, I never stopped. Wherever I used to go, I always have my equipment. It's either in my bag or it's in the car, but it's always with me. People be like, why are you moving with your stuff? You're not scared you're going to get robbed. You don't know me like that.
That's it, yeah.
So then what happened was I was seeing that I need something more stable. As much as I have a 9 to 5, I have something that brings me, puts food on the table, but am I happy where I am? Because at the same time, I actually enjoy this photography. It allows me to travel. It allows me to do a lot of things. It allows me to actually expand the people that I know around me, in a sense of not just knowing friends and family, but also getting to know new people and business-wise. If I'm in a 9 to 5, I'm not actually getting to know anyone, because it's basically the exact same thing every day. But this way here, I'm able to explore. I'll meet new people. I'll meet new kids that will be, good with like maybe taking pictures or whatever the case may be. I would travel. I'll meet different religious groups. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because I think an integral part also was doing a lot of the Zulu cultural events that I remember you started pushing a lot into that as well.
So that's where I went to the weddings and the Mambesos and whatever it is that needed to be captured, you know. So I then at the same time life also got serious because then now to focus now. We're no longer in the 21s now. Now we're in the 31s now, you know what I'm trying to say? So the shift was heavy, you know what I'm trying to say? But it was heaviness, or it was something that you actually need in order for you to actually progress and move forward.
Yeah.
Because this space was always over here. When I was in a comfortable, much more situation, we never thought of using this space the way we're using it today.
Yeah.
But once we shifted out and life got more serious, we realized that we actually have everything we need. We just need to put it into work.
Yeah.
You know? So the shift from that transition there was actually a bit of a heavy transition, because you need to understand, if you're working a night shift, when you come home, you're probably coming home like 3, 4 in the morning.
But you need to sleep and whatever.
And when you're going to go sleep and you're coming back, you know that at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you need to be in town for your shoot.
Yeah.
And it's not you that's going to be the model. You're going to be doing the shoot. So your camera needs to be there. Your battery needs to be there. Your equipment needs to be on point.
Basically, everything has to be on point
you know,
before that.
You also need to be focused as the videographer or the photographer. You know what I'm trying to say? You must be able to also communicate with these people. They cannot see that you're tired or whatever the case may be. And it doesn't end there, because then there's still the back end thing.
The
I need to connect.
work,
I must connect with you.
Yeah.
I must connect with this next person in order for all of this to come together. And there's still the client that still wants the work done. Mind you, I am dealing with all of that the next day, and where am I? I'm doing my 9 to 5. So it is a juggle. I would not lie to you, but it's nice because you then also push your limit to see as to how far can you go for your thing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense also, like, you know, pushing that limits, because it was also something that I also had to, like, I've always worked and then did breaking, but then as I got older as well, like, a lot of health issues came in the way. So
let's not even talk about the health issues.
Talk about the health issues that you get. But I know the thing of, like, as I get more involved in my work, because I work in the tech space now, the times that it takes is a lot. So the time that I get to train is not as much as I did back then. You know, we were training like 3-4 hours. We were spending 8 o'clock going home 1 in the morning.
Basically, I remember
at the school. We didn't have the space. We didn't have the studio. We didn't have bounce at that time.
I remember when we used to train at Crystal Point, whereby we probably like link. So we'd probably link up with maybe like Tommy and myself and the rest of the guys maybe like in the morning, you know? And then we'll get the remainder of maybe like if you're working or that time you were actually studying. You know what I'm trying to say? We maybe wait for like the school to finish or whatever the case may be.
Then we're going to the school after school. And from there we were training till the evening.
So that's after school we're looking at maybe we're linking up at what? Maybe at 5.
Yeah.
You know? So 5, 6, 7, 8. Dancing straight. Sit down, have something to eat. 9, 10, 11.
We'll keep going at it.
You know, then we'll be like, you know what, guys? It's good. Let's go now. Yeah. Tomorrow, back to it again.
Back at it. I remember at one point we did 7 days a week.
And
it was insane.
Bro, the good old days, bro.
Those are good old days of training.
The good old days were just amazing, dog. That's all I can say.
That was
just
training,
bro.
But yeah, man, it's interesting to know, like, everybody, the whole reason behind like doing this is that we're focusing on creatives with our podcast, and the 9 to 5 365 means that whether you're working or doing your side hustle or whatever it is that you know that you're focusing on, that's either creative, a side business or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You always make time for it, try to make some sort of time for it, because at the end of the day, if it's something you're passionate about, you'll build a business, you'll make it happen. But yeah, man, it was good having you on, and then knowing, like, you know, the transition and your thoughts on the period and the era that we that we shared in the dance scene. What do you think in terms of like maybe like with you, what's kind of like your next goals to like another 5 years? So let's just say by age 35, 36, where do you see yourself? What do you see yourself doing? Yeah.
At the age 5 years from now, bro, I don't see myself doing a 9 to 5, but I see myself working 365.
With the business. So
yeah. You see, my aim is basically I need to basically push my photography, because I'm looking that in the next 5 years, honestly speaking, I'm looking to having a proper studio.
Yeah.
With the setup that we have going now, I feel we are there, you know. It's just a matter of now, you know, putting that stamp that never moves.
Yeah, to take it.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Definitely possible.
Wherever you're going live, whether you're in New York, Durban, South Africa, or whatever the case may be, wherever you are, if you see a Nike tick, you know that brand. You know, so I want that stamp to always be there to know that wherever I go, wherever walks past, or whatever happens in life, that's the studio that we were talking about today.
Yeah, definitely. Very possible with this age of social media.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was good, man. We'll definitely have you again, and you know, talking more about it, and then obviously
we'll see
where you are there and what comes about from it. But yeah, shout outs. That's the end of
episode
one. We're definitely bringing you more individuals in the creative space.
And also, if you know any individuals that's coming from 9 to 5, 365, and you'd like to see that person on the show, simple, hit us up and we can hook you up.
That's it. Right?
We're out.
Peace.
Cheers.